Okay guys, here we go. You should recognize this map. I'm going to turn off the stats for a moment. Alright, so while we get up to speed, I'm going to talk a little bit about the map, Primeval Isles. So I, in this game, wound up in my favorite spawning location for the map, and I'll explain why. So the top middle has smaller, this one's a decent size, but smaller expansions along the back edge of the map. 3 of them right here. Now if you look at the corners, so by far the worst positions to start at are middle, middle right and middle left, right? And the reason is everybody has easy access to a small island expansion right behind where they start, but then this one, if you go down, your closest thing is this island, which sucks. It's got its gas at this end, its minerals all the way down at this end, and this huge space where the AI can drop. Then on this side, it's got the other one. Okay, so you really have to expand inward, which is harder to do. After the middle left and middle right, left is pretty much the same deal. The corners are pretty good, but you still are up against one of those long islands, right? You got a small one here you can take, you got your back one, that's easy. These circles are awful. They're very hard to hold. We're 3 minutes into the game already, shoot. So here's how I should have gone at regular speed. Alright, I'm going to change it so that we are only looking at dado. Okay, but anyway, in the middle of the map, there's a lot of minerals, 2 geysers, but it's extremely hard to hold. Anyway, I came back to Primeval Isles because I had an idea that I wanted to try out, and let's take a look. I'll put this statistics back up, I guess. So at this point, we're 4 minutes into the game. I have made 2 command centers. I went depot, command center, eBay, and now I'm putting up turrets. There are a few specific times that I keep an eye on. One of them is 6 minutes. Around 6 minutes, you see your first drop. So it's a race here to get these landed. That's why I landed this at the very edge of the island instead of putting it closer to the minerals, so I could start cranking out SCVs faster. Same thing here. You want to put the command center right here, because there are minerals here as well. But I landed a little sooner. I should have dropped it right there, but I didn't. And we're at 5.5 minutes right now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 turrets up on this island. I'm only starting my first and now second and third at this island. Now moving to command center after making some SCVs. Doing that here too. And I've got a little ring right here. I have no barracks, so if anything gets through and drops, then I'm in trouble. I'm fighting using SCVs. So we're putting more turrets over here. Just keep working on this ring here, and at this point, okay, so there's our first Mutalisk. It was actually well after 6 minutes. There's a good amount of luck in playing this game. One, it's your spawning location. I happen to get the one I like most, and one of the reasons I like this most is once you have this island and this island, really, I'm putting turrets up along here, I'm putting them up along here and down there. I don't have to defend this one very much because you have to go past those turrets to get to it. You don't usually try to do that. Okay, and I was talking about the luck element of this game. If you have Zerg on either side of you, that's actually the best case scenario, because their first attack is Mutalisks, usually, or slow overlords, really. And those are easy to kill with turrets. If the Protoss shows up, especially if it's closer to the 6 minute mark, and they drop Zealots, then these expansions are just dead. I think it's a worthwhile risk to take, trying to double expand like this, because you basically find out within 6.5 minutes if you're just going to die, and you can start over. So I'm still on only turrets, just trying to get enough up to prevent drops. A lot of repairing, a lot of rebuilding turrets. and just finally starting, well, I started over here to mine minerals at the expansions. Barracks coming up at 9 minutes. I mentioned that there are a few times I keep an eye out for. So we're already past that 6.5 minute mark. 10 minutes to start to get my first refinery, start getting some gas. The next one is 15 minutes. So at 15 minutes, there's usually a pretty big attack out of them. After that, the big marker seems to be 25 minutes. There's a very large attack around 25 minutes. And then the next massive one is all the way at 45 minutes. And that usually includes a lot of battle cruisers, a lot of carriers, and guardians. So right now I'm past that first mark. And I've got my barracks up, making some marines, and first factory is coming in. So now that I've secured these islands, I mean, they're not really secure. I have to keep building turrets, keep trapping SCVs. They do this little dance. And I'm not really exploring at all. That thing's happening where the shit just keeps popping up again. I don't know why. And alright, I've got one factory, I'm making a second factory, I've got the academy, and the academy is, I mean, obviously I can get ComStat once I have the academy, but it's really for marine range. So you're going to see me research that pretty soon here. Still building more turrets, just as long as I can leave this mostly open, because they won't come from that direction, just like I'm doing over here. I was trying to make the most of all that, you know. Let's see, yeah, those SCVs were sitting around for a bit because I'm trying to pay attention to several fronts at a time. Still got a bunch of trapped SCVs. So we got a bunker here. Yeah. And this one's empty, so we're just gonna put another one over here, and I think maybe one more up here, not sure. But once they have range, bunkers are actually really, really good anti-air. It takes a little while to kill them. You can repair them pretty quickly. Okay, so we got 2 factories, we got another command center coming in. This would be for a 4th base, and we're getting a starport for dropships. Okay, we're approaching that 15-minute mark, and I think we are going to see a pretty big attack. One of the mistakes I've made in the past is, like, you see I have this command center here. Is trying to expand right at 15 minutes. It seems like I'm ready to expand at 15 minutes a lot of the time. Here it's a little easier because I'm protected back in this base. I haven't even looked at yet. So I'm just sending off the command center. But as Andrew Beers told us, as soon as you try to expand, they swarm. So if I had tried to expand like downward or out at 15 minutes, they would already have been preparing to attack, and they would have just sent all their shit there. So we're seeing higher level tech around 15 minutes starting to poke its head in, but I have enough turrets up that they're not really committing. So it's mostly been uneventful. Another row of turrets here, mostly doubled up. And the goal is just to mine out this island. Store supply depots here, I don't mind if they die later. But yeah, here comes that attack a little bit late. 16, 17 minutes. But they're not able to get all the way in. I waited on landing the command center just to see if more shit would show up. This island's hard because you can't build on these rocks right here. So I put up turrets. I think eventually I'll put a bunker there. That's what I usually do. Landed this command center. Still going to put a few turrets up. And at this point in the game, 17 minutes, I've mined out the main, and we're just transferring SCVs instead of having to build them. That's why I was getting the dropships. It wasn't for an attack. It was purely for expansion. Now, what's happening next? Okay, so I'm making a nuke silo here, and I'm going to explain why. It looks like I'm overbuilding factories, and it looks like I'm overbuilding command centers. And one of the things that came up on our text messages, I suggested, I thought it would be fun, was the idea of using expansions as bait, right? So we noted that they flock to an expansion as soon as you try to land or you bring an SCV, and they kill all your shit. So what I was trying to do, I'm going to increase the speed now. By having these extra command centers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, there's another command center coming in, float over to an island around 25 minutes because I know that they'll attack. And I'm hoping they send everything, and then I'm going to try to nuke what they send. Should be a major setback for them. I started making dropships a little while ago. I just put 5 in the queue. I'm doing very well. I'm doing okay on money now. I actually started making Goliaths. I've got my ghosts out. And I only went with 2 armories this time. Sometimes I get 4 to do air upgrades. And what happened just now was I comsetted the path down to the middle. And this was my big idea. So, still building turrets. They never stop. Almost mined out over here. Almost mined out. Well, not really almost mined out over here. And we're still working on this one. So my big idea is to lure them over here. This is a terrible expansion that I don't even really want to take. It has small mineral patches and it's extremely difficult to hold. But I'm going to lift a command center and send it over. I'm going to send a ghost and I'm going to try to drop a few units and build some turrets to attract their attention. See if I can get a big swarm of Valkyries and drops and things to show up. I'm going to put my ghost on the edge here and try to nuke all that shit. At the same time, I'm going to try to take the middle. And this is the big gambit. The middle is extremely hard to take. It's a big open space. Before this attempt, shit landed here, right? And I've been planning to just take these Goliaths in the middle, but I had to bring them over to make sure this didn't die, because it's not totally mined out yet. Alright, but I'm over here. They've already sent some stuff. They know about it. Putting up the turrets. And I was starting to say, in past games, I had some success. You know, I focus on the small islands. Create a Goliath island. Bring like 10 dropships full of Goliaths. Dump them all. Start building turrets. Usually, they can't get in. But a lot of times, they still do anyway. Because it's so much shit and they lock down all your Goliaths like they're doing here. I also kind of mismanaged this. I end up losing my ghost, so I can't even try to nuke. But they don't send enough stuff to nuke anyway, so I'm really just going to abandon this project. Here, all of my factories, well, all but one, that I'm rebuilding, are up in the air. And what happens next is my favorite part of this game. They are starting to focus on this area. See, they're dropping and dropping. I've lost my ghost, though, and they're being pretty careful about it. So, you know, I could try to just keep it. This is where I decided, okay, they're not sending everything. I'm going to try to just keep this expansion, building barracks, going to try to put up some bunkers. But here's the move. This is the big move. So we've got 7 factories floating down, attracting all this attention away from all these dropships that were filled with Goliaths. Okay, so as soon as we get the Goliaths and SCVs, as soon as they land, we start building turrets with the SCVs. Storm is pretty brutal. This is what makes it so difficult. And then they're pretty damaged, but they're not dead. Most of the factories make it down here. And then once the things that were attacking them get here, they start focusing on the Goliaths. As soon as the Goliaths land, as soon as the factories land, I got 5 Goliaths in production for all of them. So we're just pumping out Goliaths, trying to build turrets as fast as we can. It's not easy. Completely abandoned this base at this point. Completely focused over here. So they keep dropping stuff on the fringes. I've got the middle, but look, there are all these Goliaths here. Keep having to move back and forth, and the vision is a real problem. So not being able to see shit that comes in until it's much closer makes this much harder. Also making it much harder is the fact that I'm an idiot and didn't research Goliath range. I just forgot. I think I didn't have enough gas or something at the time, and so I had to come back to it, and I forgot to go back to it. So I don't have range here, which made this a lot harder to hold. But I'm still just consistently pumping Goliaths, and I have a ton of resources. This is why it was important to take the 4 islands early and then just not spend very much. It's not a lot in my base. Got a floating command center, but down here, just consistent Goliath production, and all my upgrades are going toward the ground mech. So we're at that 45-minute mark now. So this is when you usually see a massive attack from the computer. You notice they have battle cruisers now. So I would like to put a command center here, but I know that shit's coming. bringing in more dropships with Goliaths from, I think the ones that I had dropped up here. Nothing going on at home, just trying to hold it. This thing is tack, repair. We've evacuated all the SCVs from here. The entire focus is on holding the middle. And again, it's these drops from the sides that are really killer. These battle cruisers coming from this side that you can't see until too late, especially because you have to upgrade your fucking Goliath range. Trying to build turrets on the outside. I didn't think that would end up working, but I had the SCVs and the resources to do it, so we're going to try. We got Zerg up on the walls here, but look, I got a command center up, and I've actually started mining in the middle. And the whole goal here is to just mine out the middle. Just take these resources, and then just go home. Hallucinated carriers. All right. So I'm throwing up turrets, but which helps with that vision problem because they have to go through these first. But they're eventually going to kill these. They're not very well protected. This island again gone. This one still exists. I don't really care if it goes down. The only thing I worry about is the supply depots here. Gonna have to start building those back home. But still trying to hold this area, so just throwing up more and more turrets, building more and more Goliaths, trying to punish shit that tries to come in. Here I got, and so now I start floating buildings, right, to try to solve that vision problem. Factory up here, so if shit comes through here to drop, I can see it coming, but I still couldn't see that Overlord until it was right on top of me. These battle cruisers I can see a little bit sooner because of these turrets, but they're about to die. Back home, still not much going on. Alright, let's speed it up a little bit more. We'll go to 8x speed. Alright, now I'm feeling pretty secure about the middle, and it's time for... But I was just starting to say I'm feeling good about my ability to hold the middle. I'm making some ghosts for lockdown, and starting the tech switch into battle cruisers. So, got some starports coming up here, but then back home, this is where it's really getting started. Making 3 starports at a time, maybe 4, and more are going to come up. At this point, I'm not invincible in terms of minerals. I've only got about 5,000, which when you're making battle cruisers and likely losing battle cruisers is not great. But if I can manage to mine out the entire middle, I'll be in pretty good shape. I have to make a second science facility because I don't want to give up my ability to make ghosts and lock things down. These bases, I expect to die eventually. They do send another sort of massive attack, I think around an hour. I'm up to 8,000 minerals, 12,000 gas. This is kind of the waiting game part of it. Protoss has moved into that base that I attempted to trick them with. But now, okay, so minerals wise, this island I just noticed I was comsetting still empty. So we're going to try to create a Goliath island here. And we're also nuking down here. Just trying to poke at them, keep them busy. Got enough Goliaths here that I think I'm able to hold this island. I drop a couple of nukes here, and then I think that's the end of my nuking for the game. More important to have comsats. There are a lot of cloaked wraiths and DTs around. What else is going on? Okay, so I have a damaged command center here. Why? So in the original recording for this replay, I completely missed. You can see it on the minimap, but this move out with battle cruisers, it was just a group of 5 with some science vessels, and moving out trying to take out the Zerg. Makes a, decent amount of progress, but as we try to move into the Zerg main base, they get enough reinforcements, and I think I get sloppy and distracted with the defensive matrix and the Yamato, and so they aren't quite able to finish the job. You can see the count is down to just 2, and you would see this on the minimap in the original cast, but at that point I've lost the battle cruisers and it's time to retreat, and so I'm just going to splice this back in case you were curious. Okay, so I have a damaged command center here. Why? Not sure, but I got one up there. So I'm aggressively mining this, just trying to get all the minerals and then leave. But we have, this is, I remembered to get, let's see, do I have the boost? I don't know. I have the Goliath upgrade at this point, I think. Back home, I haven't made that second science facility yet, so I don't think we have any. Oh no, I have. So we got BCs on the way. Oh, the science facility is down here somewhere? Yeah, right here. Okay, so we are at 8 XP. We're at an hour and 11 minutes. I have 15,000 minerals, 17,000 gas. Gonna mine out this island pretty soon. The middle is done, so it served its purpose. Lift up these buildings, try to get them home, or at least let them draw fire. And battlecruiser count is up to, so there are 5 right there. But at this point, we start moving out. Usually the easiest to kill is they can't lock your shit down. They can plague it, but for some reason they don't. So I go for them first. There's no storms unless Protoss just sends reinforcements. In the meantime, they killed this base. They were eventually going to whittle it down. Like I said, I didn't really care. It had a few supply depots that would have been useful. And I got a group of science vessels along with this team of what used to be 12 battlecruisers, and just whenever I have enough energy, I'm putting another defensive matrix on them. Point, just producing more battlecruisers. I've lost the middle. That's okay. Just like I lost this island, and I don't care. Wouldn't mind losing this island and this island as well. I would miss the comp sat and the depots, I guess. So we're just pushing along with our 3-3 battlecruisers. This team is not going to get the job done though. This is why you need so much money, because you're going to lose an entire team of battlecruisers and then have to replace it with an entire team of battlecruisers. So I'm going around the edge of the map, trying to take out anything that still has minerals. You see there are places that still have minerals. Hour and 26 minutes into the game, and as insurance, I'm actually going to take a couple of those. So I'm getting minerals here, because I know I'm going to have to rebuild battlecruisers. Second team of battlecruisers is out, sweeping around the other direction. Plan is to meet at the corner here, eventually. And you can see the computers are pretty much out of money at this point. Purple is still going, and they were the hardest to kill. I think I lose a lot of battlecruisers to storm as I try to do this. Science vessels just hanging out, because I lost track of them. They lost their battlecruisers, they were just following battlecruisers. Back home, there's not much to worry about. They are harassing me. They did a couple of drops and scouts just floating in here, and I haven't even looked at this area the entire game. So there's stuff that I'm going to have to kill there. Down to only 5,000 minerals, 12,000 gas. But I landed on this double gas island. I've landed down here now. Found that Zurich hatchery, so we're going to clear them out and actually take that spot. Just make sure I don't run out of money and blow this game somehow. There's still a lot of battlecruisers left that could die and need to be replaced. A lot of cannons to kill, a lot of turrets to kill. Trying to be smart about using Yamato gun, but I think I just lost all those guys. But we have a new team to replace them. I'm down to only 3,000 minerals, 11,000 gas. The Garm Brood was eliminated. Garm Brood. Here we go. Take this out. Let's see. I've got a base running here. There's actually quite a bit of gas still in there. So I'm looking pretty good. It's just a question of mopping these guys up. Terran has 0 minerals. I don't know why they wouldn't try to expand. Maybe they don't know how to float a command center. I don't think I've ever seen the computer do it, so. But they have an SCV. I guess they didn't have a dropship. Anyway, we're just going through here. We got our other team of battlecruisers making their way from, I guess, for the center. And we are mopping up, so we'll go all the way up to 16x. make some wraiths. I avoided wraiths the entire game until now, but now I made some because they're fast. So I want them to zip around the map and find whoever's left. Fan them out. Furnax tribe was eliminated, and the game is over. We are the winners. So the move to the middle was a game changer. That was the new idea I had. It was extremely satisfying. Anyway, Primeval Isles in the books. That's how I did it. I'm sure there are other ways to do it. Pusk was getting it done with wraith harassment. I just didn't have the attention span for that, but I thought it could be done this way, and we have proof. Okay, that was it. I don't know if it was interesting or not. It was going really fast. I probably missed little details that, if you're interested in this at all, you might have wondered about. We'll check the stats, which are going to look ridiculous in my favor. APM of 44 over 2 hours. I paused several times throughout this game, but I never saved. And let's see, I raised 524 structures. How many units did I kill? I killed 2,226 units. And resources. This is ridiculous. This Protoss was even on par with me. The Grendel Brood was pretty close too. Alright, that is the end. GG everybody. GG Primeval Isles. GG Garbrood.